Hello and welcome back. It's a special Saturday today, as this is the 29th of February, a date that only happens every 4 years. We are in what is known as a leap year, and today's reflection we consider the journey that Jesus took to his execution, which is also known as the Stations of the Cross, the Passion of Christ, and also the Way of the Cross. The traditional form, which can often be seen displayed as 14 images alongside the nave of the church, and each picture represents Jesus on his last journey through to his final breaths on earth. Jesus is condemned to death, he carries his cross and falls for the first time. Jesus meets his mother, Mary. Simon of Cyrene helps Jesus carry the cross. Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. Jesus falls for the second time. Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem and falls for the third time. He is stripped of his clothes. Jesus is nailed to the cross. He dies on the cross. Jesus is taken down from the cross. Jesus is placed in the tomb. Although not traditionally part of the Stations of the Cross, the resurrection of Jesus in very rare instances is also included as a 15th station. However, some of these were not based on scriptural texts, and His Holiness Pope John Paul II formed what is known as the scriptural form. Out of the 14 traditional stations of the cross, only 8 have clear scriptural foundation. To provide a version of this devotion more closely aligned with the biblical accounts, Pope John Paul II introduced a form of devotion called the Scriptural Way of the Cross on Good Friday 1991. And these are Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus is betrayed by Judas and arrested, Jesus is condemned by the Sanhedrin, Jesus is denied by Peter, Jesus is judged by Pilate, Jesus is scourged and crowned with thorns, Jesus takes up his cross, Jesus is helped by Simon of Cyrene to carry his cross, Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem, Jesus is crucified, Jesus promises his kingdom to the repentant thief, Jesus entrusts Mary and John to each other, Jesus dies on the cross, and Jesus is laid in the tomb. In 2007, Pope Benedict XVI approved this set of stations for meditation and public celebration. In these scriptural stations of the cross, you will notice that there are some differences from the traditional stations of the cross. Jesus does not fall down. Jesus does not stop and meet his mother Mary on his way to Calvary. Veronica, who wiped the face of Jesus, is also omitted. However, Jesus entrusts Mary to John, who are at the foot of the cross, and there's forgiveness for the repentant thief. The reading for today is taken from Matthew 27, verses 21 to 26. The governor again said to them, "Which of the 2 do you want me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what should I do with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" All of them said, Let him be crucified." Pilate released Barabbas for the crowd, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. There may be times when we feel we're constantly being treated unfairly and criticized by others. This may make us afraid and alone. Sometimes we may feel that we aren't appreciated enough. Or there are times perhaps when we feel overburdened with responsibility that we are unable to fulfill because we already have too much to do. We get the feeling that certain tasks always seem to be left for the same people to do. We often feel sorry for ourselves and complain in our state of self-pity, and we forget to reach out to others who may have larger crosses than we have. They may feel abandoned and lonely, and we may think that others don't take our side, or we decide that we are just miserable. There is a prayer, or a psalm in fact, Psalm 71 verses 20. "You have shown me much misery and hardship, but you will give me life again. You will raise me up again from the depths of the earth." Thank you for listening, and join us again on Monday when we will continue on this journey through Lent. Goodbye.